Was I actually I came in. I apologized to Todd. I apologized to Mike, Mr. Rooney, just because that's I did. I let my frustrations jump out after a game, and I don't usually do that. Usually I keep it under control. So it's just frustrations on myself, and I'll be better at that.
Yeah, because it's not like we're just out there blowing assignments. It's just little things, one or two steps, one drop back step, one read step by a running back, just a cut from anybody. I mean, it's just one little thing. It's not like we having like big time mental lapses out there. It's just little things, and we have to get those cleaned up if we want to have any kind of chance.
There this week.
Oh, I'm playing no matter what. Even if it's a pull or anything, I'll tape it up and be ready to go. Gotta play. Playoffs start now.
As a mental health of the team, you still feel like the Steelers at 7-7 in December?
We're fortunate enough that AFC is not the powerhouse this year, but it's playoffs for us, and we're gonna see how we respond on Sunday.
TribLive.com here. Allen Robinson, Mark Cavoli. I am Justin LaBars. We're getting set for what is already going to be basically an early December playoff game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 7-7, going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The big story this week has kind of been just the entire state of the team. Ben Roethlisberger apologizing for some frustrated comments he made after their loss this past Sunday. Rashard Mendenhall kind of returned and talked to the media, didn't say too much. Allen Robinson, what do you make right now of the Steelers, who are in the definition of a must-win situation?
Well, they've probably been in a must-win situation for a while now because they're not winning. They've lost 4 out of 5, so I think every game has become a must game now. No, but seriously, they've got to win this game. They probably have to win next week to get into the playoffs. Even if you want this team to get into the playoffs, you can state all the analogies you want that they're 7-7, just like the Giants were last year. Giants went on to win the Super Bowl, but I don't know how many times you can expect that to repeat itself. Ben did apologize today for his what he says remarks made out of frustration at the end of the Cowboys game on Sunday. Rashard Mendenhall made no apologies at all for missing the San Diego game. Basically said he works just as hard as he ever did since he's been here. Doesn't know what the role is going to be. He doesn't know what they're thinking about him upstairs. Sounds like a guy who's ready to move on. The question, of course, this week is: are the Steelers ready to move on to the playoffs, or are they ready to move on to the offseason?
Are they ready to move on to the playoffs or off season? They've had pretty good success against the Bengals since Andy Dalton and A.J. Green have been in that regime, although they've also beaten the Bengals, Mark Cavoli, when they've had a healthier secondary, which they do not have right now, and when they've had a less problems on offense, or at least in terms of the entire team. It seems like everything's kind of out of whack right now.
Yeah, what's interesting about this season with the Steelers is right now we're sort of undetermined of what type of team they have. Sure, they're 7-7, and that's not very good. But 2 wins down the stretch here and getting the playoffs and gets hot, all of a sudden all their worries, all their problems just seem to go away. But on the flip side of that, if they lose these 2 games, then it's just a colossal failure on this team. So I think that's a unique dynamic how they head down the stretch here, where we don't know yet if this could be deemed a successful season, and it's still up in the air. 2 wins, and all of a sudden you're a very successful team. And what they're going to have to do is obviously beat Cincinnati on Sunday, and the way to do that is how they did it a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and that was stop A.J. Green. And to do that this time, there's going to be no Ike Taylor, as we know, and it's going to be Keenan Lewis following them around. So if you're looking for a matchup to circle on Sunday to maybe determine if you're going to win or lose, it's going to be how well Keenan Lewis defends A.J. Green. And you could really say that matchup right there might determine the season, how it comes out. So it's going to be something to look at.
That may be a season-defining matchup, and they have 2 games left, both against their Ohio rivals in Cincinnati and then Cleveland. Guys, prediction time as the train's rolling in. Is the Steelers train going to roll in and get the win against Cincinnati?
Okay, I've got Bengals 15, Steelers 11. Here's why. The Bengals have forced 15 turnovers while they've won 5 of their last 6 games. The Steelers' turnover margin during that span where they've lost 4 or 5 was like minus 11. They can't put the ball on the ground in this game. The Bengals have been one of the best turnover-forcing teams in the league over during their hot stretch. The Steelers have been one of the worst teams in forcing turnovers. They need to reverse that for one game. It's been since the 4th game of the season against Philadelphia when the Steelers have had a plus takeaway margin in a game. That's really kind of defined their season, is they don't take the ball away and they turn it over too much. If they do that again, they'll be turning their season over to real quickly.
We're going to start calling him Allen Stats Robinson. Mark, what do you got?
Well, I actually think the Steelers are going to get hot down the stretch here. They're not that very far off. I've been saying that a while. That they're so close from turning these losses into wins, and you're probably a possession away in 4 games from being, 11-4 at this point. So I don't think they're that very far off. I think they're playing at Heinz Field is going to be huge. They're going to win this game something like 28-24, beat Cleveland, make it to the playoffs, go to Denver and lose.
There you go, Mark Caboli out.
New England.
There you go. Mapping it all out. Yeah, let's not let our personal travel get in here in the way. Mapping it all out is Allen Robinson, Mark Caboli. You can follow them on Twitter. Of course, you can read them in the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Only 50 cents. TribLive.com. And, of course, don't forget about Trib Live Radio, sports talk all day, all the time. Allen Robinson, Mark Caboli. I'm Justin LeBar. We'll be back with you next week. Have happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.